let's get to something more crazy and highly offensive. Let's get to the first thing that I want to talk about. And this came up like immediately, like just as I was on my way to talk to people at Best Buy. There is more Project L news that came out. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like in the morning, my Twitter got flooded with fighting game content creators that got hands-on impressions footage of the latest Project L, the League of Legends 2v2 fighting game. So, we have like a fucking like YouTube video from the devs, right? Oh my god, Tom Cannon.
The time of year. So, we thought we'd check in and let y'all know what's...
So Project L, again, is like the, what was it? The League of Legends Marvel style 2v2 assist-based fighter that everybody's been, you know, anxiously hyping themselves up for, right? It's going to be the most highly popular, from the highly popular devs, Riot Games, that made games like Valorant and League of Legends, right? Two popular games that a lot of non-fighting game players, you know, still play to this day. More updates, more champions, yada yada yada, all that stuff. And so Riot wants to like, you know, expand their horizons, right? They've done MOBAs, they've done shooters, but in the past few years, like 2 or 3 years, they want to try their hands on a fighting game. And they've been hard at work, giving us like a little bit of like breadcrumbs, piece by piece here and there, like little bits of candy, like, ooh, a piece of candy. Now we have another huge ass update from the devs of Project L, giving us more game mechanics and a lot of fighting game content creators giving us footage. So let's see, what is this? Introducing duo play, right? A new system mechanic?
What's happening with Project L. From the start of this project, we felt that if we were going to make a fighting game, we needed to bring something new to the genre. We're investing in some big ideas that we hope will unlock new kinds of fun for fighting game fans. I'm happy to introduce one of those big bets for you today, which some of you have already suspected. Project L isn't just a tag-based fighting game. It's a 2v2 team-based fighting game.
Wait. I knew it was like a 2v2 like fighting game, but wait, this is like, holy shit, you could be a team with another dude, so it's gonna be a 4-player fighting game like outside of Smash, right? Smash is the only like franchise that does 4 players, right? Or at best 8 players, right? If you count Ultimate. But now you're telling me that this is the first official fighting game that legit has 4 players, right? And people like it. The first one was, what was it? Street Fighter Cross Tekken. That you could like tag team with your friend who's got a stick and another person who's got a stick against another duo of stick players. But holy shit, that's crazy.
This means that teams of 2 players can face off together in the same match, with each player piloting a...
Oh shit, the UI looks good. What the hell? Holy shit, yo, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this crazy horseshit? So, wait, what is this? You have like a meter like at the top while also wait, why are there 2 types of like meters here? Wait, hold on, yo. 1 meter for like, I'm guessing like supers, and what is the other meter? The fuck is this? Of course, like characters look fucking good. Like Ari looks good, Darius looks good.
Players can face off together in the same match, with each player piloting a single champion. So we're building a game where you can play with your friends, as well as against them. Let me toss it over to Sean to explain how it works.
Damn, that hurts. Maybe I just handshake and you jump up after?
Yeah.
Wait, I saw this on like Twitter. Is that fucking Clockwork?
About this.
So, oh wow, so he works for Project L. Daniel Clockwork Maniago is the core rules design. Oh, shit, bro. And this is our game director, Sean Rivera.
This is Clock, one of our game designers.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
Let's get into it.
Oh, man.
Duo play works a bit like tag team wrestling.
One player controls the champ on stage, and the other waits off screen for their teammate to find the right moment to tag them in. In our last update, we showcased some of our tag mechanics, all of which were designed from the ground up to
Wow.
encourage teamwork. Sharing in victories, defeats, performing combos together, or saving your partner in a clutch moment are just some of the new ways you can
Yeah.
experience the game as a duo. Project L will support 1v1,
Yeah, so again, right, they showcase like the game mechanics like before. This is going to be like a Marvel versus Capcom Infinite style like game, where you can freely tag your character with another character. So think about it like, what was it? The two games that are like very similar to like Project L's like mechanical style, MVCI and Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Both have, you know, free handshake tag teams, right? You can freely like tag and they can do whatever the move they want.
are just some of the new
All right, so yeah, you could. I remember this. So that meter, which we saw like earlier, is used for burst. So it's a literal tag burst. Okay, some cool ass defensive options. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we saw the burst before, like in an earlier Project L video, that like you can call in your assist character, your second character, and stop the opponent from doing their combos. That's genius.
new ways you can experience the game as a duo.
So it is
Project L will
so it
support
is
1v1, 2v2,
for each person.
and
Wow.
even 2v1 matchups. So don't worry, solo players. You can still play as a solo tag team fighter and control both champs at once. Fight your own battles or bring a friend. The choice is yours.
Yeah, right?
Time to throw down. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the thing is, right, we read a while ago there was like a leaker on Twitter. We you all can like check on the video on my Khaiza channel talking about the leak tweet about Project L, is that the devs wanted to make like a fighting game at its core for a fighting game, right? They're not pushing Project L to be an esport just yet. They want to focus on making a good fighting game, which is, you know, that's admirable, that's smart. But the way that, like, you know, showcasing like how many players can like play in this specific like fighting game, it already exudes the fucking vibes of like, all right, we're gonna make this like an esport. And practically from what it's saying it is, from what they're saying it is.
Whatever your setup, our systems are designed to feel fluid and rewarding for players on stage and off screen. And that starts before you even get into a match. Before the game starts, each team can choose to customize how their champs play together with something we're calling the fuse system. With fuses, you can choose between powerful synergies that change up your duo's playstyle and really allow player expression to shine. I want to talk about one fuse called 2x assist. This allows your team to throw out 2 assists back to back instead of just one.
Wait,
With each
what?
champion having 2 assists and some of them being chargeable, there is a lot to discover. But you can always change your fuse for the next match to find out what feels right.
This is gonna
You can
be
always
an
change your fuse
offensive
for the
as
next
fuck
match to
game.
find out what feels right.
Telling you right now,
We're really
this is gonna
excited
be
for all the
heavily
possibilities here
offense.
and can't wait to see what you come up with. Team play is at the heart of Project L's design and the foundation of the game overall. We know it's a difficult design challenge to get right, but we spent a lot of time figuring out how to make duo plays something truly unique and special for you all to enjoy and master.
I'm sure you've got loads of questions,
Wow.
so keep them close, because I have one more thing to tell you all. I'm thrilled to say that Project L will have a playable demo at EVO, where you can come try out the game on the show floor.
Oh man,
We'll have 4 champions
fuck.
available.
I want to
no
go to
sign-up
Evo.
required.
I want to play
Whether
these
you're
new
attending or
games.
not,
Fuck.
Look out for another update with more reveals soon.
Man, I want to be a fucking elevated as fuck content creator and like go and like get like hands-on footage, right? I missed like a lot of demos. I missed a lot of betas that I could have been like playing. I mean, I got like a Street Fighter 6 beta, the second beta before the open beta, but man, I missed the Mortal Kombat beta. I online stress test. I missed the first wave of the Tekken beta, and I'm gonna be missing the second one. I've been checking my emails, right? Damn, I wish I had that level of prestige where I could like play shit and like go shit, right? Because like one of my biggest goals, I want to go to EVO, not just for like, you know, just playing like new games and like compete, but just like feel the experience. But damn, man, all the good shit is waiting at like outside like local events. I'm like, fuck, I can't go there.
Time winding down.
Wow, this game,
that's
man,
big,
I gotta say, man, this game looks fucking good, bro. This is so cool. It's like combining like what, combining like the artistic style of like a Arc System Works style like game, but it just makes it more beautiful like to look at, right? Like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Skullgirls a little bit. Right, because Skullgirls was like a hard challenge for like the Lab Zero devs. Everything was like hand animated, like drawn, before completing it into a 60 frames per second like game window. As long as there's an assist, I'm happy. Yeah, right. Like, this is why I think like let's like mute it. Right, this is why I think like assist-based like fighters are some of the more like, you know, gameplay intuitive fighting games out there, right? Because like the mechanic of the assist is like, oh, what if I throw an assist there, or what if I use the assist in this like position, right? Assists give a lot of player creativity to the player, not just like in combo extensions, but what can you do with like the assist. And now we've seen like this like wave of modern like fighting games a la Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, where you can like use the assist in like a fundamentally new way than what they were traditionally before, of them just being like an assist and like tagging them out, right? Like you have to hold down to tag out. Whoa. That's freaking sick. Assist can be a good oh shit button. Yeah, right? Assist can be good or bad depending on like the situation. And sometimes like an assist, cause like those games, right, have like good like defensive systems, right? While you're developing arthritis, yeah. But most of the defense in tag-based fight, assist-based fighters are just like advancing guard. There's crossover counter in Marvel 3. But that's pretty much it. They're mainly offensive, and there's a fighting game is good if you have not just offensive options but also defensive options, right? Counteracted with like, what are some of like the breakaway tools that you can do in this fighter that you don't just rely on a few defensive tools, right? Advancing guard is good, but sometimes advancing guard can also be like bad. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, before the season 3 patch? Yeah, I think it was season 3 patch. Before the season 3 patch, only had advancing guard. It didn't have a block counter, right? Where you can call on like a little bit of your Megazord juice to like get the opponent off me and reset to like neutral. But here is that Project L is really looking to be like, you know, an offensive game, but we can also look at, Maximilian's video, because he had hands-on footage on Project L, right? And he talks about the defensive options as well. Where does he talk about it, right?
A heavy attack that allows you to like dash cancel in and do all this wild and stuff. There's natural anti-airs on every character with down heavy, and you can like the enemy getting pushed away a whole bunch. What it does is sort of like push you away, and this is with back and light and medium for your supers, and it is all defensive mechanics in Project. Very interesting design decisions. There's a lot of defensive mechanics in Project.
Oh, that's where
L,
Max talks about it.
One of the biggest ones is that the game does not have a traditional push block. It does have push block, but it does cost an entire bar of meter. You'll notice that there is 3 bars of meter at the bottom. That is for your supers, and it is also for your heavy defensive mechanics, like for example, push block. Push block.
So we were wrong in saying that, like, it's not just for, you know, 2 characters specifically, but this is more like your main meter build up for your supers and whatnot. But the other meter is down here. Oh, so it's really much like Mortal Kombat 11. I just like put 2 and 2 together. Like Mortal Kombat 11 had like an offensive meter and a defensive meter. You spend 1 bar of offensive meter for EXs, but you spend defensive stuff like breakaways and throw escapes by spending defensive bar. So this little bar down here is how much your defensive meter is, and that's used for advancing guard, which, as Max says, costs like 1 bar
for your heavy defensive mechanics, like for example, push block. Push block works really good. It actually pushes away assists, which is awesome, and it does clear a lot of space, but man, is it expensive. You also have something called retreating guard, and this is with back and light and medium. This thing works like a reverse push block. So instead of like the enemy getting pushed away a whole bunch, what it does is sort of like push you away, right? It pushes your character backwards, allowing you the chance to sort of like put them at a distance where you can whiff punish them if they're throwing out too many attacks. However, it has a huge weakness. It completely loses to low attacks, so you have to be super careful of when you use this, but it is a pretty interesting tool to kind of push the opponent perfectly out of range where their follow-up attacks can then be like whiff punished and stuff like that. Here's the other crazy one. The game has a parry.
So there's two types of push blocks, right? The regular push block where it costs like 1 bar of your defensive meter, and you have another push block that like doesn't push the opponent away but pushes you away. Oh wow.
Perfectly out of range where their follow-up attacks can then be like whiff punished and stuff like that. Here's the other crazy one. The game has a parry. It has a
Wait, what? An assist-based fighter has a parry system like a la Street Fighter 6? What the fuck?
Meter parry, where if you press light and heavy at the same time, you can do a high parry and a low parry with the down and light and heavy, and it's just a straight up like parry animation that you see in something like Street Fighter 6 with a little bit of a catch window that feels like 5 to 8 frames or something like that. The crazy part about it is that if you're successful and you successfully high parry someone or low parry someone, you get all of that meter back. So it definitely is encouraging where if people are going to be autopiloting their block strings, you're going to get parried to holy hell. After a parry, they're just left acceptable. You can run in and get a full combo, all this crazy stuff. So you have to be very careful of how you do this, but there's a risk to it. This costs an entire bar of meter, and as of right now, getting meter isn't super plentiful, even though you have different meter gauges for each team member. Yeah, there's like 3 meters on one person and 2 meters on another. That is the way it currently works. There's also wake-up attacks, like auto wake-up attacks when you get up off the ground, but they didn't seem to have like upper body invulnerability.
Oh, okay. Wow, so push blocking, reverse push blocking, and parries. And if you land like a parry, it costs like 1 bar. I mean, that's expensive, right? That's really expensive for like a tag-based fighter. It costs like 1 bar of your super. It should be like the fucking Dragon Ball FighterZ like situation where it costs like half a bar. But maybe that will like change like later in the future because, you know, this is a very, and I'll be quoting Max, right? A very degenerate fucking game. It's very offensive as all hell. I mean, the way we're seeing like this, just doing like 8-hit combos or 16-hit combos from like these players, right? Look at like this Darius shit. Ugh. The game's gonna be mixed up as all hell, very offensive. Are you gonna guess this high-low mix-up, this impossible unblockable? Can you guess that within like a few frames? Absolutely not. This is gonna be the absolute most offensive fucking tag-based fighter I have ever seen. Right? And I played a few, right? Marvel 3, Marvel Infinite, Dragon Ball Fighters, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. I've learned a thing or two from like my past adventures. This game's gonna be fucking the most aggressive fucking tag-based fighter in modern times, right? There's gonna be so much shit that will like mix you up. There's gonna be a zoner set play only fighting style. We have confirmed 2 characters that are both of them like that. The one zoner is Jinx, where she will like shoot guns and like pew 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 like that. And then the other is we got another character from past like updates of Project L, and that's Ilaoi, where she will like set up tentacles and she will command the tentacles to like whoop your ass from like mid-screen to like full screen. So there's gonna be that, but from what we're seeing like so far, it's just like the 3 characters that all are gonna be doing close range combat like style, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, we haven't seen, like, Jinx or Ilaoi gameplay yet, but Ilaoi's gonna be, like, a fucking, like, brawler with, like, traps. Like, she's gonna, like, bruise you down. She's gonna bruise you down with her, like, biggest fuck, like, you know, canister of ooze and beat the shit out of you while also setting up, you know, tentacles, because that's her, like, toolkit in the original game. There's gonna be more characters, right? I think I saw like on Twitter, right? That there will be 14 characters in Project L. When we'll get like Project L in the hands of the public opinion, well, they will hopefully like say, right? Will hopefully say when that will be, but there will be 14. Oh, right, there will be 14, right here. Yes, that's better. 14 characters in Project L. So far, we got revealed of like, what was it? 3 characters, right? 3 characters so far. Darius, Echo, and Ari. And we already got confirmation of 2 more characters. Jinx and Ilaoi. So the rest will just like come at, you know, Riot's pace. Oops. Oh god. It has to be here. There you go. Fucking god. Didn't they show Ilaoi? Yes, they showed Akali. Yes, they showed Akali, yeah. In some like screenshots, some leaked screenshots. Yeah, so Akali is confirmed. Right? Our first like ninja character in Project L. And they also showed off what was it? Some of the other like videos, right?
Hey, Dragon.
Yeah, right here. Yes, there she is. Katarina is right there. So she is confirmed to be like a base roster character. Yeah, so in total we're gonna have what was it? 6. No. What was it? Darius, Echo, Ari, Jinx, Ilaoi, Katarina, Akali. 7 characters. We have now confirmation of like 7 characters in Project L. And when we're gonna be seeing more footage of Project L after like this video, we do not know. We do not know.
You know what's gonna happen. Whew. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. That's all like the movement and offensive and defensive and tag things that are in the game. But guess what? There's actually a ton more, because before you even get to the point of a character select screen in Project L, in this current version of the game, there is an entire groove system the game
yeah,
sets
that's
up,
it. The groove system in
fuses.
this game.
So these
yeah,
are
like the duos, and we saw a little bit before, like in the thing, right?
It's our favorite type.
Yeah, we saw like what was it? Right here. 3 other systems that you can pick from in Project L. Selecting chroma. Oh, you get to select colors? Oh, that's their colors like in the
Before
game.
the game
Okay.
starts, each team can choose to custom.
So double down, you have, so they essentially gave like a lot of like the game different different other like last resort mechanics that you can do. So you have this one which is called double down. Essentially like combine your ults with your partners. Is that like what, like last resort, or like just you could do like a tag team like super? Is that it?
Customize how their champs play.
And this one. 2 times assist? That's fucking nuts. Empower your partner with multiple assist actions. That's fucking crazy.
Play together with something we're calling the fuse system. With fuses, customize how their champs play together with something we're calling the fuse system.
Oh, doesn't Max like talk about this? I mean, it shows us here, but what does Max say?
Specific gameplay mechanics that'll apply to your team that you have to choose before character select. And yes, they pretty much are like a group select in something like Capcom versus SNK 2. Let me give you an example of the 4 that are available in the game right now. One is double assist, where your assist attack can actually get a follow-up attack depending on whatever character you have, which will set up for even more daring like block strings and mix-up situations. You get something that is called double down, which acts pretty much like a delayed hyper combo in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, where if you want to like use a level 1 on a character into a level 2 of the next character, it allows double down, which acts pretty in mix-up situations. You get something that is called double down, which acts pretty much like a delayed hyper combo in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, where if you want to like use a level 1 on a character into a level 2 of the next character, it'll allow you to properly DHC because the game does not normally set up for that. There's also the ability to have your character be out there and throw out a super, and you can handshake tag to the other character while the super is still out. So this very much reminds me of a Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm gonna mix you up while there's a big beam on the screen or something like that. That's kind of what they want it to be used for, at least what it feels that way. So that is all included in the double down sort of fuse. And then the other one is a thing called freestyle. And freestyle allows you to do handshake tag twice, meaning that you set up a mix-up, you get to the other side of the opponent, and then suddenly you're controlling the other character on the opposite side of the opponent. You throw some big combo out or some big block string into like a big move and handshake back to the other character, and you have no shit a Soul Stone / Marvel vs. Capcom 1 situation where the opponent is locked in between with 2 characters on each side and you're just getting smashed to bits. If there was one moment in Project L that left me with a giddy sort of schoolgirl glee.
So you have 4, technically like 4 different ways to variety your gameplay in Project L. You can do like a follow-up assist. You can DHC super, right, with your assist character. What else did like Max say?
And freestyle. Let me give you an example of the 4 that are available in the game
4
right now.
All right, I gotta remember.
One is double assist, where your assist attack can actually get a follow-up attack depending on whatever character you have.
Yeah, follow-up assist.
Thing that is called double down, which acts pretty much like a delayed hyper combo in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, where if you want to like use a level 1 on a character into a level 2 of the next character, it'll allow you to properly DHC because the game does not normally set up for that. There's also the ability to have your character be out there and throw out a super, and you can handshake tag to the other character while the super is still out. So this very much reminds me.
Okay, so you can do a follow-up assist. That's one mechanic. You can do a delayed hyper combo, like follow up with one level 1 to another character's like level 2. which I'm guessing like level 2s are their like cinematic supers. At best you can get is like what, 3 bars of meter at like at the top of like your purple bar. Then you have free handshake where if a character does like a level 1 lockdown super, as Max said, and then call on your assists to lock them down and mix them up even further, a la MVCI style. And then you have freestyle, right, which is you can call on the assist button twice, not once but twice, and it refills. Like, what the excuse me? No way is this game like an actual like thing, and I forget, like, it is an actual thing. What the sweet Mary Mother of God?
Handshake tag to the other character while the super is still out. So this very much reminds me of the other character. The opponent is locked in between with 2 characters on each. In Project L, that left screen, it was freestyle with double handshake tag. I could not believe what I was looking at. And then last but not least, the least interesting fuse in my opinion, which is probably one of the most effective ones, is called Fury, and it gives you
Fury
at 40% life for your character.
Oh, so there's
a bonus.
So there's like there's like 4, right? There's 4. Follow up, delayed hyper combo, then freestyle, and then Fury. Okay, so there's 4.
At 40% life for your character, a bonus of stats. From what I remember, it was like damage, if not allowed you to do more defense or something like that. So it was kind of like a rage mechanic for your team if you wanted that to be so. So yeah, that's okay. I think I'm actually done. Right? I'm 13 minutes in.
So the Fury like mechanic for Project L is like literally like a guts or like a rage mechanic like in Tekken, but for like 2v2 fighters, or like a crit art situation in Street Fighter. 40% or less like health, you get access to an amped up version of your tag a character, second characters of choice assist. So you get a powerful version of your assist character. Wow, damn. Damn. League, this is, you know, very like all the puns intended from like the original game, right? But League is pretty much like a team-based like game. Like you gotta coordinate with the strategies of your other like teammates in order to like dominate the game. And Project L is emulating that experience in a fighting game to a goddamn T. Like, holy, wait, wow, you can do like all of that shit with like your partner. And granted, right, this is a tag-based partner, so you can definitely rock this like solo, but the fact that you can like play as one character and then you get your homie and then that person plays like another character and they have like access to all this stuff, and it's a simple button fighter with no special moves at all. Confirmed, no special moves, no shoryukens, no DPs, no fireball forwards, no tatsus, no pretzel motions, none of that shit. It's just nothing but light, medium, heavy assist and just forward directions with like a special or some shit like that. That is all like you get. To have that simple, accessible feature on a very pretty looking, very in-depth, rack your brain around 2v2 like fighter is awesome.
Into this video describing the basic mechanics of Project L and going into some of my impressions of what's going on here and the roster and the characters, which is obviously like we're gonna see a lot on these characters in the roster. I probably stuck with Darius the most because he's sort of like, you know, the most like rock solid. It feels like he's been in the game for a while, while Ahri and Echo took a little while to get used to. Ahri's kind of like, you know, the Wolverine of the game in many ways. She's got a lot of unique tools. We're gonna be seeing more on these characters, and Echo's ridiculously crazy and a lot to wrap your head around, but still a pretty decent like beginner their character. I don't really want to get into the individual character stuff because I feel like we're going to have a lot of opportunities to do that in the future. I just want to talk about overall impressions. And yes, from what we had played and what I just explained to you for 13 straight
Ari's
minutes,
level 2.
it's a lot, bro. There's a lot.
Was that level 2?
Yes, from what future. I just want to talk about overall impressions. And yes, from what we had
Oh, that is a
played
level 2.
and what I just explained to you for 13 straight minutes, it's a lot, bro. There's a lot of stuff in this game that is feeling like it's directly made for fighting game players, because so many of these mechanics inherently come across as something that is for the fighting game first. And for any of us, we see these things and you see the potential, you see the possibility, and you see where they go. And yeah, through several people at the event and through myself getting used to the control scheme of the game and everything, you start discovering stuff, and it's very fun. What they're trying to do with all of these mechanics is give you an immediate surface level depth, like absolute laundry list / kitchen sink of things that are possible. And this isn't even including the depth of the characters, where, you know, some characters all have like universal overheads and then some don't. And then some characters sort of have these things that work this certain way and then some don't, where, you know, there isn't this like sort of homogenous feel throughout every single character in the roster. There's basic combos that work for everybody for sure.
Oh, God.
However, currently in the game, there is no like, okay, so how do we ease people into it? If you mash the tag button, you don't see some cool tag thing happen and then the other character comes in. You have to manually set up for all this wild and shit, and then eventually figure out how to do supers. And yeah, every character sort of had 2 level 1 supers and a level 2 super.
We saw
which
that
acts like a
defensive bar.
big, you know, Marvel
We
vs.
just saw
Capcom
it, the
had,
push
2
block,
level
right?
1, and then eventually figure out how to do supers. And yeah, every character sort of had 2.
Yeah, it costs like a meter.
And then eventually figure out how to do supers. And yeah, every character sort of had.
Yeah, that's your advancing guard. It's like a push block, repels like the opponent's back, and then you could like go
2
in.
level 1 supers and a level 2
Oh
super,
wow,
which
so it's
acts
like a
big,
repel and
you
a
know, Marvel
knockback.
vs. Capcom
Fucking
level
A.
3. So it's fascinating, and I have to say that it does take a while to sort of wrap your head around it. And as we were playing it and figuring out stuff the characters could do, I couldn't help but sort of be taken back by how intrinsically fighting game player focused all of this is. And while it is kind of refreshing to see a fighting game go completely ham on mechanics and all of this stuff, I kind of wouldn't be surprised to see some of this stuff toned down, because this is a degenerate game. It is a game where you are going to get opened up non-friggin' stop.
Oh,
And
yeah,
especially when
of
people start
course.
getting used to this handshake tag stuff.
Right, this is very historical in a lot of like these like other tag-based fighters. That, you know, aggression is the #1 big factor in a fighting game. In like tag-based fighters more specifically. If you grant the tool of, you know, we've been talking about assists like in the chat, but just giving the player an assist, right? Maybe like two assist characters, like 3v3 style, like Marvel vs. Capcom, but just giving them like one character, that opens up like, oh, can I open up? There's like a lot of crazy offensive pressure that you can do, right? There's a reason Season 1 of Dragon Ball FighterZ became like so stale. It's a lot more aggression like now, right? Because there's not a lot of that in Season 1, but Season 1 was just non-stop blocking. Because there is no real advancing guard in Dragon Ball FighterZ. There is Z-Reflect, but all it essentially is a well-timed like parry. And if you miss that, it's only like a few like startup frames that like you miss it, but time it like right, it's essentially like a parry, but it's not really like you hold back and then you do like an advancing guard like Marvel vs. Capcom style where it reduces damage. There's no like chip block. Luckily, there's no chip block in Dragon Ball FighterZ. There are only like a few times where Dragon Ball Fighters can like chip you, well, not really chip you out, but they made it a point there's no like chip kill in the game, right? The biggest like chip damage you could get is like, you know, Goku's like Spirit Ball, and that takes off like 1/10 of like your health meter. But even so, Season 1 of Dragon Ball became fucking ridiculous because constant aggression, and you just have to like hold back and pray to God that you don't get like opened up with like a low or an overhead, and pray to God that like if you called the assist gamble like right, you can like punish counter that shit. But a lot of like assist based fighters are very oppression based, and unfortunately they don't have a lot of defensive mechanics, right? The assists are more offensive rather than defensive. The defensive is with, you know, some games having like what was it? Not a burst, right? But a tag out, like Dragon Ball Fighters, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had like you hold down the assist button and then your other character shows up to stop the opponent's aggression by focusing on the second character. What else? What else was there? Dragon Ball, what was it? Power Rangers Battle for the Grid had like, you know, the Megazord counter and the push block, two defensive mechanics. Not really like a burst. Like if you're getting hit, you get like a burst out. But a lot of like old like assist-based fighters. Skullgirls had like the infinite prevention system, right? Because a lot of that game is that if you land like an infinite, which is really based on like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, if you get infinite on, you're dead. But they have an infinite prevention system. But even then, players mix up their combo strings so that the infinite can quote unquote fly by, right? They're long combos for a reason in Skullgirls. But not a lot of like, you know, not like in this game where you have like a burst or you have like a push block repel back. You don't have like a reverse push block. You don't have a parry. You don't have a lot of defensive options, right? And a fighting game, I see it now because of Maximilian and his take on fighting games, is that offensive games are cool and all, like crazy combo strings and whatnot, but also defensive, right? Because, you know, I don't want to get oppressed by like a fucking infinite with no ways to like get out of it. No, I want to be able to get out of the infinite and like repel with my own infinite, you know? That's like the nature, that's like the perfect dichotomy of fighting games, is that you should have offensive stuff, you should have crazy cool looking shit that you can do to press the opponent, but also defensive styles. What ways can I like turtle, right, against like the opponent, you know? And Project L is seemingly like, you know, the best of like both worlds to have that dichotomy, and it's great.